Alright, peace and greetings, YouTubers. Let me just jump right into this video about the 2016 Grammys, aka watching two turtles have sex on Animal Planet. Okay, because that's how dry it was. Overall, this year was just, when you want to talk about dad, talk about nursing home for real. That was the most nursing home award show set through in a while. And I usually don't do Grammy reviews anymore because I think I haven't done one in about 2 years, just because the Grammys are always so dry now. And I think what it is that the era of the superstar has kind of died. There's a lot of people that have great songs and that are, somewhat talented, but for some reason it just doesn't translate well on stage. So that excitement is no longer there. And I think as I get older, I really can just care less about a lot of the people that are out. Because when you grow up in an era of the Michaels and Whitneys and the this and the that and the Luther and, and all the greats that came out in the 70s and 80s and the 90s, it is so hard to really be excited about what is currently on the table. But let me just jump right into it. So I said, you know what, I'm going to go and I'm going to watch this with an open mind, so I'm going to watch this show, we're going to get into it, and I turned it on and went straight to a bathroom break because Taylor Swift was the opening act. So by the time I finished, she was still on because she was singing about something about being out of the woods. And here's my thing about Taylor. I have nothing against her personally. Taylor Swift to me is just plain. There's nothing about her that speaks just like boom, explosive, that makes you want to run to the TV and see her. I don't get the hype. Now I understand that she is the voice of a specific generation, maybe not mine, but I really just, I'm not checking for Taylor. I think she's a nice person. I love that she can write her songs, and she's just plain. She's just safe. She has just enough voice to get by, and some of that voice disappears when she has to perform live. But there's just nothing about her that's exciting. Even when she tries to put on like revealing clothes and give sex appeal, that doesn't even work. I'm like, Taylor, you are just, If we could name all the celebrities by their different channel, Taylor would be like public access TV. Or actually, I'll say PBS because they got a bigger budget, okay? Just PBS. You watch PBS when you get a chance, and there's some things on there that are good. But during prime time on Thursday night, everybody turns to ABC, so nobody's watching PBS. But for some reason, Taylor's selling all these records, so I'll stop bashing her. I'll tell you what, though, what did wake me was when Taylor did the little jab at Kanye. I said, okay, Taylor, now you about it. I'll give you some entertainment now. So I thought that was entertaining. Which is sad because I should be more entertained by the performance. Her performance wasn't bad, it was just cool. Especially for a Grammy opening. You're setting the tone for how the show's supposed to go. And I mean, she did a good job because that's basically how the show went the rest of the night. It was just here. There were some highlights, but overall it was just dry. But it's going back to Taylor and Kanye. I do like that Taylor kind of opened her mouth and said her 2 cents to Kanye, but my thing about it is, as much as Kanye gets on my nerves, and I'm not really a big fan of post-2009 Kanye, in my opinion, he has a point. Did he do it in a way that was tactful? No. But, okay, we know Taylor Swift had a career before Kanye interrupted her to VMAs and all that other crap. We know she had sold a few million records with whatever 2 albums she had out there. But to be honest, the people who are not a part of Taylor's fan demographic, they really weren't paying attention to her until that mess happened, in my opinion. And I mean, did that make them go and buy her records? No. But it got a huge sympathy vote from society and middle America and the soccer moms and everybody else who felt so bad for this wonderful, sweet girl who, was upstaged by evil, crazy Kanye. So I feel like it helped. It just happened at a time when she was already on her way. She was going to be a superstar either way. But it just happened at a time where she was right on the cusp of blowing up, and that was just the fuel to the fire. But enough on Taylor. Let me move on. Overall, I gave the show like a D+. C-. Actually, I'll stick with a D+ for a couple reasons. The biggest reason was because I felt like they were kind of shady in how they did the tributes. One, I enjoyed the David Bowie tribute. I thought that was great. Lady Gaga, she nailed that. Excellent, cool. I really liked that they could capture the essence of what David Bowie offered during his heyday. But my issue is that if you could give David Bowie such a great tribute, why couldn't you give Natalie Cole one? Now, I know they might say, oh, Natalie, blah, 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 blah. But she didn't even get a tribute, and she died before David, so y'all had time. It's not like it was a last-minute thing like Maurice from Earth, Wind & Fire, which kind of set me off too, because I was like, I'm hoping the Grammys will do something larger for Maurice next year, or do something like they did for Whitney Houston, how they had a totally different special later on in the week. Because it would be a shame if they really just kind of brushed by the legacy that Maurice left. Like when you look at Earth, Wind & Fire, and you look at the impact that they had on music, they had an impact just as big, if not bigger, than a David Bowie, in my opinion. You can fight me on it, I don't care. It's kind of a difference of culture anyway. But when you look at, like, let's just break down the logistics here, okay? Pretty much, the music of Earth, Wind & Fire and all the things that Maurice created are still being used today by high school marching bands, and especially HBCU marching bands in college, like all the time. You go to any HBCU game, the first thing you're going to hear, like, you know, they're going to get it in. So the tribute that they gave him was cool. Stevie's always a legend. But my thing about it is, when I think of Earth, Wind & Fire, I think of brass instruments and loud colors and just liveliness. And that tribute was more like a, you know, a diet version of ABC to sing off. I could take it, but it didn't match the essence of what Maurice did. Like, this is a person who had a platinum record just for sheet music, because that many bands were using his stuff. So I feel like Grammys and whoever else, y'all need to do a little bit more for Maurice, or do something. You better come out with, there better be something next year, or because it's in poor taste to only give him that. And it was a really poor taste to not even give Natalie Cole anything but the last 10 seconds of the video montage of everybody that died. I know we can't honor everybody who dies, but Natalie Cole was just as, well, she was a huge impact in the 70s and the 80s. She made her huge comeback in the 90s. Like, you have to give respect where respect is due, especially now that all these legends are dying, and there's nobody that's really filling their voids. You know, you really have to give respect. You really have to put that honor where it's there, because you have an entire generation of kids growing up who think Selena Gomez is the epitome of talent, and we can't have that. So, moving on. Oh, then Adele. Lord Jesus. I tell you what, Taylor Swift said, I'm not having it with Adele. You will not come and take my shine in 2016. So Taylor Swift went backstage and she cut the wires on the sound system during Adele's performance. But Adele, listen, everybody has a bad performance, but you are about to go on this major world tour, and you're doing 6 nights in a row at Staples Center and 6 nights in a row at Madison Square Garden. If this is already messing you up like that at the Grammys, you might want to invest in some pre-recorded backing tracks. We really won't be able to tell the difference. I mean, please sing live if you can, but hey, you might want to lip sync a tiny bit on this tour, because if your voice was already given out after that, I don't know what to say. I mean, I really like Adele finally, because I was never impressed, but I respect the artistry. That's actually my favorite song on the album too. I mean, it still is after that performance, but everybody has a bad one. But speaking of these artists, I feel like Adele and Taylor Swift, I keep going in on Taylor. I'm going to leave it alone after this video, I promise. But I just feel like there are some artists who become huge because they turn into social luxuries, and everybody just starts to like them because, not because of what they're doing, but just because everybody else does. And I think Taylor gets away with that. At least Adele's music can kind of back up her huge 9 million copies sold in 3 months album. But, you know, it's okay. But I like Adele. She's going to have a huge year next year at the Grammys. You know, I think her album came out after the cutoff date, so she wasn't nominated for anything. That kind of answers that question for everybody who was like, why didn't she get nominated? Because October 1st was the cutoff date, or one of the days were. Let me jump into, did I talk about Pitbull? I don't remember, but either way, don't have him perform no more. I'm tired of seeing Pitbull, okay? Like I say every time, a Pitbull performance is like watching a party you're not invited into. You sit here, he got 100 people on the stage, and every performance is the same. If this was still 2011, I could probably take a Pitbull performance, but he's been doing the same thing every year. I can't take anymore, just let it go. Plus, I was like, this is not the Teen Choice Awards. What is he performing at? And I don't know if that was to replace Rihanna's performance that did not take place, because apparently she had bronchitis or something, and they didn't want her to perform for vocal damage. And I was like, you really gonna get vocal damage for singing for 3 minutes? And if you were singing Work, that wasn't gonna be anything too vocally challenging to sing. You could have went ahead and did that. Get the backing track to do the chorus. All you gotta do is sing the verse, have the backup singers drown you out, and go on home. But whatever, that's your promo, not mine. And that's what they probably should have done with, who was I thinking of? I think maybe I said that about Taylor Swift or somebody else, where a lot of people should invest in having stronger backup singers. Sometimes when you're having a bad day vocally, you can get away with a lot when your backup singers drown you out and do a whole lot. Like I used to notice that back in the day when we used to watch like an old Britney performance when she would try to sing live, and she'd always have them gospel choirs backup singers, like just drowning her out. That way you didn't really pay attention to what was going on. Moving on. McGill, he did okay for the little 45 seconds he performed. I don't understand what that was about, or I guess it was, to pay homage to Off the Wall and promote the documentary that came out. But either way, he was in really good voice for that 45 seconds that he sang. I still don't really care for the album because I feel like it's an extended version of his last album, which I enjoyed, but I just would like for him to involve his sound. No more echo reverb on your albums, please. I'm tired of hearing that, and that guitar. Justin Bieber, I missed most of his. I think somebody came and stopped by real quick. So when you're distracted and the TV's on and you talk about other stuff. So he did whatever he did. I guess it was okay. Guy Chris Brown. Sorry. Yeah, Justin was alright, I guess. Yeah, his album is actually really good though. That's the thing that pissed me off. All you R&B acts, y'all contemporary R&B acts, I don't understand. Y'all got these dry albums and y'all let Justin come out here and school y'all. And I don't even like Justin. That's the problem. Oh, Alabama Shakes. I've never heard of them, but guess what? They're gonna be my new favorite group for the week. I enjoyed every element of what they had to offer. I like the song they performed. I like the lead singer. I like that they're humble. That is a fun group that I'm going to start following. So they kind of almost remind me of, what was it, the Lumineers? I like them too. I don't know what happened to them, but yeah. Beyonce. Oh, yeah, I guess she presented. She was acting like she didn't know how to read for a minute, though. I was looking like, Beyonce, you struggling a bit. That was a real dry presentation she gave. I guess, you know, she wanted to fit the environment of the show. Kendrick Lamar, let's jump into him. Plus, Beyonce just sold out 1 million nights at Wembley, so Beyonce can do what she wants at the moment. Kendrick Lamar had probably the only lively moment of the show. He performed Black and the Berry and mixed it into All Right, and I said, get it, Kendrick. And the best thing about that performance was watching the faces of the audience, because he's doing all of this, you know, pro-black empowerment, everything that pisses off white people. And that audience was in there just, like, they didn't even pay attention. You know, usually, this is the last time I'm going to talk about Taylor today. But, you know, usually at the award show, every time there's a rapper on stage, Taylor and her friends, they didn't even pay attention to Taylor. I said, damn, Taylor must be sitting down. She said, I'm not having it. But Kendrick Lamar's performance was good. Now, if you ever, like, I'm sorry, you might not have made it through the performance, because them lights were just But the performance was cool. Very strong messaging. I know a lot of people are sick of hearing us black people complain about what's going on in the country, but hey, that's our experience, so we got to find a way of getting out to get, you know, our opinion out there. And nobody's giving us that voice, so people are taking advantage of it with the music. Same thing Beyonce did with the Super Bowl. People still pissed off about that. I heard they tried to have a boycott or a protest today that didn't go well, and nobody showed up except for the people that were pro-Beyonce. So, you know, if y'all gonna have the fake concern about, you know, outrage, y'all need to be consistent, because y'all dropping the ball on that. So, Kendrick, you know, definitely great performance. I think he should have definitely got Album of the Year, but I'm not going to say nothing else, because I said I was going to talk about a certain person in this video no more today. Between him and J. Cole, especially with the rap category, I know the Grammys don't usually do a tie, but if they could have given Kendrick and J. Cole a tie, because a lot of people slept on J. Cole's album, but his was actually very well put together as well. Now, they gave Lisa Fisher and Patti LaBelle the same award one time when they tied, so they could do it for J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar. Those are both really great albums. Who am I missing? Tori Kelly was entertaining. I enjoyed watching her facial expressions during a certain someone's speech, because Tori Kelly was over it. Somebody started talking, you know what I'm talking about. Tori was just... And it was so great. You know, I love that some people can't really keep their nonverbal cues discreet. And the nonverbal cues just tell you everything about what they're thinking. I think I pretty much covered everybody. There was a whole bunch of other people that performed I didn't care about. The song that Carrie Underwood, and I can't think of the other guy, whatever song they performed, I like that too, so I gotta go find that on iTunes. I'm trying to expand my musical horizons here, since all the R&B acts are tripping at the moment. Jasmine Sullivan was robbed again. If y'all don't start giving this woman her props, The Weeknd! Woo! Jesus, to have someone open after Taylor, you have The Weeknd. That's who I was talking about that needed the backup singers, because listen, The Weeknd, he is tolerable, and that's about it. My thing about The Weeknd is he has this nasally high-pitched voice, and he records all of his songs at the top of his range, and then tries to do it live, and it does not come off well. If you have a high range, the only way it will come off well live is if you have power behind that range. If your voice thins out as you go higher, then it's probably not a good idea to record all of your songs that way. And we hear it every time he performs. He sounds a freaking mess. He is someone who would benefit from having backup singers saturate the sound feed and drown him out. He needs a lot of instruments and horns, everything, and just a little bit of the voice feature, because when it's just him, I can't take it. I honestly can't. And plus, his stuff is dry to me. I don't see the hype. I don't understand what y'all... All these entertainers y'all be gassing up and sicing up, I am not seeing the hype. And I know people are like, oh, well, you just, you know, it's because you're older and, you know, you're mad because all your favorite entertainers aren't famous anymore. Not really, because honestly, all my favorite entertainers are still doing music at some point. They just are kind of under the radar. But, you know, I'll take it. My thing is, these newer acts, I need all these people to go back to the school of 1968 through 1999 and just study what used to be done, and then use that and evolve into what should be being, you know, taking place in 2016. Because the artistry is dead. The artistry is dry. There are some really great artists out there that we don't know about, but the problem is I shouldn't have to go and dig up under a basement and go through all these different websites nobody's heard of to find the good music. That sucks. I miss the days when it was right on the radio and being thrown in your face. So the industry sucks at the moment. The industry is dry. The Grammys were dry. This is a reflection of what music has been for the past few years. It's bad when look, BET is now booking. BET Awards are starting to book the Grammys. Like BET Awards got it together because at least they know what to pull together. The Soul Train Awards gets the award for the best awards show of the past 6 months. To be honest, you can get mad. Hell, CMAs might even have something going on with it. But like the Grammys have been dry. The AMAs will be dry. I don't understand. Music is so dead right now. And y'all keep gassing up these moderate, mediocre entertainers, trying to make them into something that they're not. Y'all can stop with the Weeknd is the next Michael Jackson, because he is not. Not to bash him, he is a very humble artist, and I should probably be a little bit more humble as I talk about him, but y'all keep gassing up these plain Jane, watching paint dry, oatmeal colored walls entertainers, can't even get my words out, I'm so frustrated. And when I say oatmeal colored walls, white people, I'm not talking about y'all, I'm just talking about how plain and dry the oatmeal colored wall is, okay? Because I know some of y'all don't think that was me bashing white people, because clearly y'all are still in your feelings about my Oscars So White video that y'all can all get over because it wasn't addressed to y'all in the first place. But, I'm done. Subscribe. If you had any favorite moments, please share them in the comment section. If you hated everything I said, you can share that as well. I actually do read all the comments. I probably won't respond, but you put your 2 cents in. Anyway, I'm out. Subscribe.